Hello and welcome to Midtone Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes album, End of Suffering. So if you didn't know already, Frank Carter was the lead singer of The Gallows, which is a very heavy metal / punk rock band. And yeah, he left, he'd done another project, and now he's at Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, and this is their third album. They've came across with a lot of like festival bangers, some really heavy songs, with some sort of slow verses, with some really heavy, strong choruses. And yeah, I hoped that they carried on, but yeah, let's see if they actually did carry on with this third album, End of Suffering. Why a Butterfly Can't Love a Spider is a very generic, quite boring opening of an album. It sort of just seems like he's just sort of taking his time. He doesn't really care about sort of the other stuff and that. But one other thing as well with a lot of the tracks on this album, you notice with the first song, is they have these very grungy, moody guitars, which I quite like. It's quite different for a Frank Carter one, because usually they have these punky guitars, but there's a lot more distortion. It's a lot deeper in tone as well, compared to like a lot of the other Frank Carter stuff. Tyrant Lizard King sort of follows on. It's not amazing, but luckily there's some really cool guitar work and that here and there. The drums are alright, they're sort of round in the middle of the road, but there's some other songs as well which seem quite lazily written, like Crowbar, which is the first single that was released for this album. I thought it wasn't really that good. I thought that it was quite lazy, he was just rhyming things for the sake of it. And yeah, there's a lot of that does follow through in this album, unfortunately. Anxiety's alright, it's probably the closest thing that they could have to like a festival banger on here, but it's still quite quiet and sort of quite soft compared to sort of the other club bangers, festival bangers that they have. And yeah, it just sort of doesn't really have any sort of proper moshy sort of bits or anything. Sort of around near the end of the album, it sort of goes into a lot more of a punkier vibe compared to a grungy vibe. But they still have these sort of quite deep guitars, but they're still playing higher notes and higher chords, it seems. Kissy Sucker is alright, it's probably the best single out of the three that have been released, but it's still not amazing. Little Devil's alright as well, but it doesn't really go into too much of the album and the sort of theme of the album. There is a theme that's supposed to be going on of sort of like being sort of quite depressed and anxious, it seems. Definitely sort of more moodier compared to the other Frank Carter and the Rattlesnake albums. But it doesn't really go too far into it. It's just mentioned on a few songs and some of the instruments are playing a bit more deeply. But yeah, it's not amazing. So overall, this album's alright. It's not amazing. It's definitely the weaker out of the three Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes albums. But yeah, overall, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in 2 days' time.